just to rally support across both houses?
The meeting that was at the broad-based.
Yes. Did you attend?
Did I get you right?
Did you attend?
I did attend that meeting.
The meeting was intended probably to marshal support from both parties to ensure that pieces of legislation coming from government, at least the support from both UDA, ODM, and those who support the broad-based arrangement. Did it work that way?
Well, I don't think the meeting was intended for that, to marshal support, because in terms of marshalling support, already these two houses, these two members of the coalition, the ODM, that from the Azimio coalition and the Kenya Kwanza, are already working together. We've actually seen them passing legislation, pieces of legislation in parliament together. So it wasn't about marshalling that support. That support was already given on the basis that these two principals have already signed contracts to work together. The thing is, the meeting was supposed to now formally introduce the members to each other, so that even within parliament, they will not just assume that they're supposed to be working on passing legislations together, but they will know that they are formally being introduced to work together. That was the purpose of the meeting. So it didn't work, because what then became the antidote, or the thing that worked against the meeting, was the mentioning of the NGCDF, removal of the NGCDF to counties, removal of the RMLF that was going to the constituencies, and now the point of pointing out that corruption is rife in parliament. That is the undoing. And if you actually sat in that meeting, you'll hear that the tension was very high between the two houses. No, not the two houses, but the two arms of government. The broad-based executive, which includes Raila Odinga, and the National Assembly, including the Senate. Once immediately they started saying the Senate and the National Assembly is corrupt, everything went haywire. And I think even the principals noted the kind of shouting. I did not expect the decorum that I saw in there to be played in a place where the president and the presidency sits. I expected calm.
Some of the dailies even mentioned that there were shouts of one term in that meeting. Did you get
well, I don't want to actually operate on...
They were actually there.
No, I do not want to operate on that, because I sat in the meeting. The people from the dailies were standing probably outside the tent, so I will be the one that will say it.
Okay.
I did not hear that, and I don't think... I think the dailies sometimes also are sensational. They want to ensure that everything is actually blown out of proportion. There was nothing out of proportion. There was only palpable hunger on the basis that...
Is this the beginning of the end of this unholy union between the executive and the House of Parliament?
Well, I don't think this is the first one, Fred. We've actually seen this before. And that's why yesterday when we were debating, somebody called Mheshimiwa Millie Odhiambo, said and reminded the nation and also reminded the executive and said, if you think that playing with the legislature is simple, ask Uhuru Kenyatta. It basically mentioned and points to the fact that...
Yes, because my question was...
These issues have been there before, so we cannot say...
President William Ruto has enjoyed a much higher level of control over both houses of parliament in his 3 years as president.
The 3 year.
Are we saying that this marks the end of that unholy union, where a lot of criticism has been directed towards the houses of legislation, that you've given in too much to the executive?
No, Fred, I'll say what Millie Odhiambo actually mentioned, Millie Odhiambo, because Millie Odhiambo was bringing us to history of the last 12th parliament, which says that Uhuru Kenyatta then parted ways with parliament and he suffered the consequences. But unfortunately, Uhuru Kenyatta is not William Ruto. William Ruto's ball game is different, and I think William Ruto now understands that he has touched a wrong button, and he will not sleep like Uhuru Kenyatta did. He will not assume that Parliament will not act. He has actually seen yesterday that Parliament was, they just decided all the bills that come from executive will be cut. And I think William Ruto knows how to play this game. He's been in this game for quite a while. I don't think that is the end. What is going to happen is that we're just taking a corner, and we're going to straighten things out. I believe the president...
He will still have that kind of influence.
I think the president will still have the influence. The president will call members, and I'll tell you, call me to the studio probably 4 or 5 months after, and I'll tell you, the president will have straightened it out. Okay. If there's a person that learns, he will learn very quickly and knows that this was not the right button. He will touch the right buttons and everything will flow.
For MPs who are not allied to the president, probably this was a moment where you relish and you finally discover that your colleagues can actually